3 men remanded for murder of Port Morant man. 3 men have been remanded to prison in connection with the murder of Kamaluddin Ibrahim, which occurred between June 26 and July 1, 2023. The accused are Rajendra Bakaran, known as Gomez, a 45-year-old cane harvester from Rose Hall Town, Dorwin Trim, also known as Rusty, a 32-year-old unemployed resident of Free Yard, Port Morant, and Premchand Ramsohai, a 28-year-old laborer from Dispensary Dam, Port Morant. They appeared before Magistrate Michelle Mathias at the Reliance Magistrates Court on Wednesday, October 8, 2025. The men did not have legal representation and were not required to enter a plea for the indictable charge. During the proceedings, Police Prosecutor Sergeant Mark Edwards confirmed that the case file was complete. Magistrate Mathias emphasized the seriousness of the charges and ordered the men to be remanded to prison. It was also noted that Trim is already on remand for another case. The 3 men are scheduled to return to court on October 14th, with the case being transferred to the Albion Magistrates Court. Pensioner remanded for raping 6-year-old girl. Puran Brijlal, a 62-year-old pensioner from Korthbrad village, has been remanded to prison after being charged with the rape of a 6-year-old girl. Brijlal made his first appearance at the Reliance Magistrates Court on Wednesday, October 8, 2025, before Magistrate Michelle Mathias. The alleged incident took place on October 5, 2025, in East Bank, Burbus. The charge against Brijlal is laid under Section 10(3) of the Sexual Offences Act Chapter 803. As this is an indictable charge, he was not required to enter a plea at this stage. The case is set to return to court on October 16th for disclosure of evidence. The community is on high alert as authorities continue to address the serious issue of child safety. Maternal deaths at GPHC linked to referrals from private hospitals. Newsroom Guyana reports the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation, GPHC, has reported a slight increase in maternal deaths this year, with the majority of cases involving patients referred from private hospitals in critical conditions. Chief Executive Officer Robbie Rambaran revealed on Wednesday that GPHC recorded 9 maternal deaths thus far in 2025, compared to 8 in the previous year. He explained that many patients arriving from private hospitals were often in dire states, with some already intubated upon arrival. The majority of the patients we had that died came from private hospitals. Sometimes they send them to us, and there is nothing different we can do for them, Rambaran stated during an event at the Ministry of Health. He suggested that financial constraints sometimes drive these referrals, but also raised concerns that some private hospitals may refer patients to avoid having these deaths reflected in their own statistics. I honestly believe that private hospitals like doing this because the deaths don't fall under their numbers. It comes under ours, he added. Rambaran noted that this issue has been discussed with the Minister of Health and at the GPHC board level. The hospital plans to review the criteria for how maternal deaths are attributed to GPHC. Regarding the causes of maternal deaths, Rambaran mentioned that most were due to indirect causes, including cases of poison ingestion and head injuries. He confirmed that some maternal death cases have been forwarded to the Medical Council for further investigation. There are a lot of challenges, but we plan to have discussions with the private hospitals. That is why I took the decision to forward some of these reviews to the Medical Council, because some of them really need some sort of intervention, he stated. Additionally, Rambaran noted an increase in neonatal referrals, as well as admissions and deliveries at GPHC, highlighting that the percentage of referrals leading to deaths remains small in comparison. GRA accuses Mohammeds of $191 billion tax evasion. Qaidar News reports the Guyana Revenue Authority, GRA, has accused Nazar Shell Mohammed and his son, Azruddin Mohammed, of massive underreporting of income from their company, Mohammed's Enterprise, resulting in billions of dollars in unpaid taxes. The GRA has issued a demand for $191 billion in taxes owed, stemming from $34 billion in understated income declarations between 2019 and 2023. Azruddin, who leads the We Invest in Nationhood, WIN party, is already facing a multimillion-dollar tax evasion charge regarding false declarations related to a luxury vehicle imported in 2020. In a letter dated October 2, 2025, the GRA detailed its findings, indicating that its review of the company's tax filings, along with information from other financial agencies, revealed that true and correct returns were not submitted for the assessment years 2020 to 2024. The GRA emphasized that submitting inaccurate tax returns is an offense under Section 110 of the Income Tax Act. The total amount due, including accumulated interest and penalties, stands at $191,171,975,676. The GRA has given the Mohammeds 14 days to respond to this outstanding liability and show cause to prevent further legal action. The GRA is also investigating prior years of income for Mohammed's enterprise. In parallel, the Mohammeds were indicted in a U.S. federal court on 11 charges, including wire and mail fraud, conspiracy to commit money laundering, and the importation of a luxury Lamborghini, all linked to allegations of extensive tax fraud against Guyana. The indictment, unsealed on October 2nd, accuses the Mohammeds of orchestrating a complex scheme involving gold exports, customs fraud, and evasion of millions in taxes and royalties owed to the government. Their company is alleged to have sold gold while circumventing Guyana's revenue systems. In June 2024, the U.S. Treasury's Office of Foreign Assets Control, OFAC, sanctioned the Mohammeds for alleged gold smuggling activities. Azruddin, who recently launched WIN, contested the 2025 general elections and secured 16 seats in the National Assembly, which is set to convene soon. Minister Parag examines potential sites for UG's medical school in Region 6. In an effort to expand and decentralize the University of Guyana, UG's medical school, Honorable Sonia Parag, Minister of Education, visited potential locations in Region 6 today. The aim is to identify suitable spaces for classrooms for students who qualify for UG's medical program but cannot be accommodated at the main campus in Turkey. Minister Parag was accompanied by Advisor on Education Reform Dr. Kofi Dalrymple and Regional Executive Officer Narendra Prasad. They expressed satisfaction with the facilities available at UG's Tain, Burbus campus, noting that it meets the necessary academic and logistical standards for the proposed program. In September, Minister Parag and Minister of Health Honorable Dr. Frank Anthony held discussions with Vice-Chancellor Dr. Paloma Mohammed and a team from UG to strategize on the expansion of medical studies. This initiative aligns with a commitment made by President Dr. Irfan Ali to address the growing number of individuals eligible for medical studies who are unable to enroll due to space limitations at the main campus. The urgency of this expansion has increased since the University of Guyana introduced free tuition, resulting in a significant influx of prospective students. In the first phase, efforts will focus on expanding medical studies to Regions 2, 3, and 6. This initiative is also expected to help bridge existing labor gaps within the health sector, which has recently seen the establishment of 6 new state-of-the-art hospitals, with plans for additional specialty facilities underway. Businessman loses $7 million in failed boat deal. Qatar News reports a 64-year-old businessman, Bastio Porin, has expressed deep frustration over the handling of his case by the Guyana police force regarding a failed boat deal that dates back to 2015. Porin claims he paid over $7 million for a fishing vessel that was never delivered. In an interview with Qatar News, Porin recounted that he invested more than $6 million to have a fishing vessel built after his brother expressed interest in entering the fishing business. He was introduced to a boat builder from Essequibo, with whom he discussed the construction of 2 55-foot fishing boats, one for himself and one for his brother. On August 29, 2015, Porin paid $5.1 million toward the construction, receiving a signed receipt in return. He was assured that the boat would be completed by the end of October. However, after the initial payment, he received multiple requests for additional funds, including $100,000 for cotton and later $500,000 for materials, all of which he complied with in good faith. Up to this time, the boat builder never delivered the boat to me. I must mention that I paid a total of $5,900,000 for my fishing boat, and I have received nothing in return, Purin lamented. After years of waiting, Purin filed a complaint at the Criminal Investigation Department, CID, headquarters in 2019. He was informed that the suspect had been arrested but was released on $60,000 bail. When he followed up, an officer allegedly told him, "You won't get anywhere with this matter. The man has connections." In December 2024, Purin wrote to both the Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP, and the Attorney General, but he has yet to receive a response. He claims to have learned that the boat was completed and sold to a Chinese man in Suriname. "I would like the police to take up this matter again," Purin urged, as he seeks justice for his lost investment. Efforts by Kaiser News to obtain a comment from the CID headquarters or crime chief Wendell Blanham regarding the status of Purin's case were unsuccessful. GFF Executive Committee member Andrea Johnson, appointed to FIFA Women's Football Development Committee. The Guyana Football Federation, GFF, is pleased to announce that Executive Committee member Andrea Johnson has been appointed to serve on FIFA's Women's Football Development Committee for the 2025 to 2029 term. The appointment was confirmed by FIFA following decisions recently taken by the FIFA Council. Ms. Johnson will serve as a member of the committee, which is responsible for advancing the development, growth, and global profile of women's football. FIFA expressed its pleasure and honor in extending this appointment, which is in line with the relevant provisions of the FIFA statutes and governance regulations. Ms. Johnson's appointment represents a significant achievement for both her and the Federation, particularly at a time when the GFF has been placing increased emphasis on the growth and development of women's football in Guyana. Her new role provides Guyana with an important seat at the table, allowing her to contribute to shaping global strategies and decisions that can further influence and support the local women's game. The Guyana Football Federation extends its congratulations to Ms. Johnson on this achievement and is confident that she will make a meaningful contribution in her new capacity. Attorney General Mohabir Anil Nandlal SCMP offers condolences on the passing of Renee Kissoon. In a statement he wrote, "Last night, I received the tragic news of the passing of Renee Kissoon, attorney at law. Renee hailed from a long lineage of lawyers, with her father, brothers, siblings, cousins, and in-laws all in the legal profession. Her uncle, the late Justice Nandram Kissoon, served as a Justice of Appeal in the Court of Appeal of Guyana, and her brother, Sandal Kissoon, is a sitting Pune judge. Her husband, Mr. Justice Navindra Singh, currently performs the functions of Chief Justice, AG of Guyana. I have known Renee since we were law students, long before her admission to the bar in 1995. She was brilliant, eloquent, and charming, with a flair and flamboyance uniquely her own. She can arguably be credited with introducing a fashionable mode of stylish attire into the legal profession, which many have since emulated. At the time Renee entered the profession, it was still male-dominated, filled with some of the most respected and experienced legal giants. Against them, she held her own, earned their respect, and often prevailed over them on complex legal matters. I had the fortune of appearing in many cases against her. By the time she migrated to the United States a few years later, she was already a household name in Guyana and a role model, particularly for women in the profession. As expected, she distinguished herself at the New York bar as well. She returned to Guyana when her husband was appointed a Pune judge. One of the last trials I participated in before returning to the Office of Attorney General in 2020 was a land dispute in which she was the lawyer on the opposing side. As always, she was a most able adversary. No doubt, she would have qualified for consideration for Silk. However, she was destined for a higher elevation. The profession has lost a noble daughter, and I will certainly miss her. To Justice Navindra Singh, Mr. Jailal Kissoon, Justice Sandal Kissoon, Mahendra, Rishi, Sat, Prithama, Dave, Prabha, all her other relatives, colleagues, friends, and most importantly, her two beautiful children, I offer my sincere condolences, personally and on behalf of the Attorney General's chambers and the government of Guyana. May her soul rest in eternal peace.